Unemployment is one big issue, a global problem faced by both developed and developing nations. It is estimated that over 70 million youth who have gone through training remain unemployed. Kenya has got its share in the aforementioned figure, with most of the affected being the young. As the world is striving to keep up with the dynamics of the economy, individuals are exploring various and viable strategies that will bring us a lasting solution.
I first knew CAVIN the first time I came for the training, but I filled the form that was calling for students to come and attend the employability skills training. When I came to attend the training for that whole month, I learned that it is indeed what any student should actually have, because I remember the first thing he told us that wait until you get that job, it will become a problem to sustain that job. And indeed, I came to realize that because I have volunteered in different spaces, I have also served as an employee in different areas, and the back and forth between employers and employees actually justified the point that sometimes you need a lot when it comes to those skills. In the spaces of leadership that I occupy, I use most of the skills that I learned here to ensure that I enjoy that good working relationship. So if I didn't attend this particular training, could be probably I would not be in a well-placed position to do such works.
It has really helped me as someone who is in the job searching market, because actually my CV was not reimbursed, and he gave us knowledge about that, and also taught us about patience in applying a job, and then we need to have a good attitude towards it. I never had a good attitude when I was coming out of school. So when I came out here and I went through that course, it really gave me a positive attitude towards it.
I'm a writer and an author of 2 books. One of them is Workplace Chronicles, that basically talks about work within and outside the workplace, yeah? So how you adapt and all that. And also just a talk away that talks about the power of conversation to finding solutions. So aside from that, I'm also an employability skills trainer and consultant. Currently, I train here at American Corner Moe, and I also consult for another organization called NRCF, or Ngong Road Children's Foundation. Yeah, so that's basically what I do. Family-wise, I would say I'm a partial orphan, yeah. So I was brought up by a stepmother. So that is growing up, and then at some point in life, I don't know, but immediately after Form 4, I remember getting a road accident. And I was like, this was the end of me, not knowing this was the beginning of my story. Yeah? So after that, I remember it was to repeat, yeah, it was to go back and repeat high school because I didn't get a direct entry to campus. So I was to repeat. But then when schools were supposed to open on 5th, I got the road accident on 2nd. So after that, you see, the principal was like, you can't repeat because it was already a year later. So from there, I started, I came to Nairobi. Yeah, I came to Nairobi from Tanzania. I used to nurture my whatever in Tanzania. So came from Tanzania back to Kenya, and then I was like, let me go to Nairobi. So I came to Nairobi, and being somebody who is hands-on, you know, I used to do anything and everything. So I started working with different people. Yeah, that way things started to open up, because you could see people tell you, I can see you're hands-on, yeah? Can you help us with this, yeah? So through that helping, through that volunteership, that is how I was able to get my scholarships. Actually, there were two. So the one for journalism, that was scholarship. With Anderson School of Journalism, it's in the US. And also the leadership and public administration, also with a college in the US. So that is how things started to unfold. Yeah. I'm from Migori County, Nyatike sub-county. Yes, so because you see, when I got the accident, I was being nurtured, or is not nurtured, nursed, right? That is the word, by an aunt of mine who comes from TZ. So she was like taking care of me and taking care of our businesses back home. So we would come for maybe checkups in Tenwek. I was in Tenwek Hospital, and then go back to Tanzania. So that was the journey, Tenwek, Tanzania, Tenwek, Tanzania. And I think I forgot to mention, the guys at Tenwek, actually they gave me a scholarship to study nursing, because they treated me and they were like, wow, we didn't know you'd walk again, yeah? But now that you walked, I think you're at liberty to study here. So I studied nursing for some time, and then by the time I was now fully recovered, I was tired because, number one, I was still young, I didn't have purpose, yeah? So I left that course and went back home. So for the Tenwek guys, the reason as to why they gave me the scholarship was because, you see, the accident was tragic. And at some point, I think after I lost consciousness, I was pronounced dead. Yeah, but that was, that was a village pronouncement. So when now we went to a hospital, it's a hospital in Migori, and then these guys were like, huyu pelekeni Kisii akakatwe mguu. Then what happened, I had a cousin who is, she used to be a nurse, but she retired. So she was like, how dare you guys say that mguu ikatwe, yet the fingers are still playing, So she took me to her place. So they were just nursing me, all that. So until there was a day, an uncle of mine who is a leader of church, the SDA church. I'm an SDA, by the way. So the uncle came to see me at my cousin's. So then the uncle says, we have to take you to the hospital. Whether you're going to be amputated or not, but we have to take you. So the uncle had a car, and my dad had a motorbike. So he told my dad, come behind us. I'm going to talk to the pastor at Migori Central to store that motorbike for you, then you'll come and pick it. So when we got to Migori Central Church, the pastor comes to see me. And then he's like, where are you taking this guy? Then they told him we are taking him to Kisii. Then he was like, atakatwa. So he told them, take this guy to Tenwek Hospital. We get to Tenwek, and then I get admitted. So I get admitted the following day. I remember a team of doctors coming. So the lead doctor told my dad, now in Luo, I want you to go and deposit 100,000. Then I'll bring this guy back to life. It's me who is going to treat him, So my dad was like, 100,000, we've spent a lot already. So where are we going to get that 100,000? So then he said, actually he asked my dad, what do you have? So my dad had 25,000. He told him, go and deposit. Just know this is a favor I'm doing, but it's not supposed to be that way. So he started the treatment. I went to the theater, I think 5 times. Yeah, 5 times. So after that, you see, I think, you see, there are these last born behaviors. I think I used to have that a lot. So you see, my aunt used to have some bit of sympathy for me. So she would be next to me all the time. Anytime I cry, she's there. She goes, calls the nurses, what could be the problem, you see. So then the doctors were like, no, you'll make this guy not to come back to life. Atatembea, if you are like this, yeah? So sometimes they would be sent away, then they leave us the patients there. So we started walking a little bit, and then they were like, you guy, you can walk, yeah? As long as you can walk to the nursing school, just go there. We've offered you an opportunity to become a nurse. So I would go to the nursing school, attend classes, attend practicals, and then, yeah, so they were using me as a testimony because nobody believed I would ever walk again. Yeah, but now that I was able to walk, so they said, this is a testimony, because their motto actually is, we treat, but Jesus heals. So that is their motto. They were like, oh, so you've been healed. Go and study there. So that is how my story of scholarships began. The trainings happen as a partnership agreement between American Spaces or American Conamoy and my startup. Yes. So I have a startup called Be the Leader, or rather BTL. So what we do at BTL is we just train current and future industry leaders, because we are like, if you're a journalist, you want to become that journalist who people like emulate, right? If you are a cook or a chef, you want to be that chef that people will emulate and say, I want to cook like so-and-so. So that is probably what we do. That is what we do at BTL. We started with writing sessions or writers sessions, and even creatives. They would come, we would bring somebody who's been into the industry for a long time, we would talk, you know. But then after some point, I felt like, was I really, you know, because already I was working as a researcher somewhere. So I was like, was I really, do I really need this whole group? So I was like, I just need a few, even if we are 2 people, but at least we are focused, than to carry a whole crowd that is not focused. So that is in regards to writing. So we started this mentorship where we just learn writing, you know, and out of that mentorship, that is how this book, The Work Just a Talk Away, came about.
Unemployment is like a headache or a high temperature, unpleasant and exhausting, but not carrying in itself any explanation of its cause. William Beveridge once reckoned, what could be the actual problem? I can't help but seek to know, and CAVIN OPODO seems to have a decode to my mystery.
This was 7th August, yeah? The title read, Unemployment Pandemic, yeah? So this is this week, yeah? So I was like, you know, sometimes I tell people we could be fighting something that we haven't understood the root cause. So the root cause for the skill gap that exists, number 1 is our education system. Number 2, I would say, is parenting system. I think I've only worked with a local employer once, and that was a head teacher. I was working as a PTA. Since then, I've always worked with Americans to date. I still work with Americans, yeah? People come to ask me, CAVIN, you keep saying our education system is a problem. But why are we able to secure lucrative opportunities with the same papers that can't give us job here, back at home? So what happens, especially in those education systems, is they hire based on what you can do, not what you have, all right? So here, our system has trained us to become, to go to school and then become the best employees, Yeah, so we are consumers of knowledge and not creators of knowledge. So that is the difference. And that is the problem that we will continue to suffer.
At first, when I had the name employability skills, I didn't take it that serious. But after attending the sessions, I understand there's a way I need to understand that people are different. And workplace and social life are not the same thing. People are different in social life too, but when it comes to the workplace, there are rules and norms that people have to follow. And for you to have an easier time at your workplace, for you to enjoy what you're doing, you need to understand that people are different. And that is what I learned from the session.
I gained so many skills from the program. I was a campus leader, leading a club in our school. So I applied the skills that I gained from communicating, because you have to engage so many, even outside partners, because running initiative there. I had to apply, obviously, the time management skill, balancing what I was learning in school and the program. I had to apply the organizational skills, even the leadership skills, as I said, and networking, partnering, digital marketing, yeah, all those skills.
Identifying these key factors that are greatly contributing to unemployability, CAVIN is slowly but surely changing lives and creating an empowered community.
The outreach program is just whereby American Corner Moi identifies a school or a community, then go there, talk to the people about perhaps the available opportunities around or the resources that they have to offer to the public. So sometimes if they are visiting a school, maybe a college or a university, they carry somebody who can guide on a career. We teach them a lot of things. We train them on so many things. One of the major things I tell them is attitude and then integrity. Those are very important because perhaps you know or you've heard of somebody who went to school, got their undergraduate or even postgraduate, and then currently they are in the street selling eggs, boiled eggs, yeah? So one thing I tell people is there is a slight difference between being learned and being educated. So the first thing is education has an end, learning never ends. So for me, those are some of the two things that I would really encourage them to have among the many others that we have. There is a form we have. So this form we send to you. So this form is supposed to tell us whether you're employed or unemployed. So if you're unemployed, then we know this is a group. When we have like a whole cohort or a whole group that is unemployed, then we know how to design our content. You need to show them the direction to the workplace.
Our today's hero acknowledges he couldn't have done this on his own. It has taken support from people and institutions of goodwill who believed in his dream to achieve this success.
First of all, American Corner Moi. These are people who believed in me. They believed in my ideas even before they were able to see the impact or the fruits of these ideas. They trusted me with everything that's around here, and they helped me to build the credibility that I have today. Yeah, so I really thank them, especially with the guys that we've worked with and we still continue to work with. And there is one of them. She was actually telling me, you know, CAVIN, I saw you from the days. She's here. I wish she could say the right word. But from the days you didn't look like you could offer much, you know, up to this point, you know. So I really appreciate them, honestly. And I also want to appreciate the people who are within my network, the people who keep referring people for these trainings, you know. Sometimes I just post it once on my status, and then the following day I make a call. How many people do we have on the list? We have over 100, and then I'm like, wow. So I just want to appreciate them for the efforts that they help us with to do the recruitment process. I also have a team that I work with. These are people who sometimes we have to work up to 12 a.m. just working on these ideas, working on these training materials, just to make that everything is running. So again, I want to appreciate them. But generally, I just want to appreciate everybody who means well for me and for these programs that we do.
There is exponential potential in this program. We are witnessing an emergence of a new and empowered generation of youngsters who are going to completely change our society positively. There is hope.
Yeah, always grateful to be in his presence, getting invites even for his book launch, wishing him well as an author, as a leader, trainer, mentor. And anyone who's interested in attending the training here at American Konamo, it's free, it's open, it's for all inclusive, and it's not only about getting the certificate, it's embodying all those skills. So all the best to Mr. CAVIN and all his initiative.
Well, he's doing a good job. The fact that he's patient with us, because we really had many questions, cohort 1, a lot of questions, and he really took time to answer them using examples. Not every tutor will take you through something and then give you several examples for you to understand. So he's a patient person, being a tutor, and he's humble.
I think I am a million times thankful for him, because were it not for that training, I couldn't have been the father I am, because at some point in my life I was just a professional student who wakes up early in the morning, goes to classroom, if not the classroom, goes to the library, and maybe go back to your house in the evening. And it was actually an eye-opener that indeed you're supposed to be even working right when you are at the university or that particular place. I have learned that indeed I should now begin chasing the jobs, and even after doing that, I'm now working in different places courtesy of him. So I'm really, really grateful, and I would recommend anybody, my loved ones and anybody that would be seeing this, take the opportunity when it's still there.
I will advise more youths to partake in this, because it gives us that humble grounding that allows us to be seen as employable people and not just people who are there to cause chaos. We have a certain pride that is keeping us from getting the employment we need. Even if we end up ruining it, because we are not patient enough to understand that the workplace and social life are two different things. So it's a good thing if more youths will be part of this training.
I don't know whether you're an employer or an employee or a job seeker, but what I know is we really need these employability skills, because whether you're an employer, you're running your own startup, at some point, due to unavoidable circumstances or due to age or due to unforeseen conditions, you would want to hand over. You only want to hand over to somebody who understands the assignment. And that is why I really encourage the employers to support the employability skills development program, so that at least we're able to nurture these people to at least take up the task when we don't have the energy to continue. And to the job seeker or to the student who is still in school about to graduate into the job market is different from the home setting. You need to know what the skills or the requisite skills that you need on top of your academic qualifications or papers for you to be able to get a job and even to survive on it. Because getting a job is one thing. Maintaining that job or keeping that job is a real drama, or is the real tussle. So therefore, you need all these skills for you to be able to thrive. And even to the business people, maybe you're running your enterprise, you also require these skills, because you need to know how to talk to your customers. You're not starting an enterprise that is going to fail today. It's about understanding your clients, their needs, so that at least you're able to repeat that the same day and work on the improvement. This is Workplace Chronicles, a book that I wrote in the year 2020. That was when we were at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. And out of research, I got to realize that there's some things that we need to understand about the workplace and even about work. So this book talks about unemployment or youth and unemployment. How can the young people create opportunities for themselves so that they don't have to wait for the government or for another person to create opportunities for them. And then this one is Just a Talk Away, which I co-authored with, as I said, one of our mentors, Massive Gutsa. It's just a talk away. So mostly sometimes you realize that you have a problem. It could be a career problem, a family problem, or a social problem, yeah, that you're going through. And then until you share this problem with another person, you might not be in a position to get help. So this book is a short story, is a combination of short stories that talks about the riskiest conversations, most of which are true stories. We are soon launching our BTL Skills Academy, and also an employability and mental health mobile application that we aim to use to spur this development that we started.